Yeah, at this point, I don't know if we have any new players. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
All the guys that were here in the spring, we didn't add since then. So there's a few positions where we've added after spring ball. That's not the case at linebacker. So the guys that were in the spring are here now. So I look at them all. So basically, the competition is consistent, and it's just a continuation of the spring, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think of Bengali Kamara so far?
Doing a good job, athletic, he can run, makes plays, finds himself around the ball. Still working on just some of the ins and outs of what we're doing, both on and off the field. But he's consistently improving, and he'll do a good job for us. I'm excited to watch him.
How quickly did his athleticism stand out to you? Whether it was on tape when he got here?
Yeah, right away. Right away. He can go. He has some things that you're not really coaching, or that I don't really feel like I'm able to coach. He just has some natural instincts. There's a couple of guys that do, and he's certainly one of them. It stood out right away. We're excited to have him for sure.
Who are the leaders in the room right now?
I think Jason still. I think some of the new guys, Joe Sip is doing a good job. Bengali does in certain instances. It's kind of by committee a little bit, I would be honest, by saying that. I don't know if it's just one alpha male in the room right now, but I'm still pushing them. I think I probably said that to you guys in the spring, that it's a constant evolution to develop that leadership, and they're all embracing it in their own ways.
What do you think of your guys' depth in the room compared to previous seasons?
Really excited about the depth. Okay, really excited about the depth. I think we're three deep in terms of being able to play in a game and feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? And even some of the young guys, who you guys may or may not even know about, are coming along. I think they're going to be good players. We got a couple guys that I'm excited about, but our depth is there. I don't know if anything's been defined yet in terms of depth, where the ones, twos, threes, all that stuff lies. Everybody's getting opportunities right now. Everybody's getting a fair share of reps right now. It'll start to weed itself out here in the days to come. But right now, I'm really excited about the depth, and think we have a lot of guys that can help us win ball games.
What's the process like of trying to find the right pairs
Yep.
of skill sets and all that? Like, what's that process like for you?
Well, I tell you, for me in my room, those guys are all working with each other, and which group they're working with, whether it's the first group, second group, third group, however you want to look at that, and who's working with who. I change that day to day. I change that drill to drill, and it's all by design, because at some point in time, I promise, whether it's just based off of a natural rotation that we have in the game, or some injuries, or what have you, I want to cross-train guys as much as possible, that they can play multiple positions as much as we can. And I want everyone to feel comfortable when I look to my right and I look to my left, the guys that are around me, I'm good with it. Okay, I'm good with it. So I mix that up quite a bit, so they probably feel that, and maybe you guys too, that I'm mixing and matching a lot of pieces.
Do you feel like, I know in years past, like Cornell and JB played a lot when they were healthy. How does that change when you do have, like you said, the depth and the ability to do different things?
Yep. Well, I think at some point in time, it still comes down to, here's the guys. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are probably going to play the majority of reps. But I do think that we, as a staff, try to find ways to utilize the skill set of our players, so that whether it's packages or rotations or whatever it is, so yeah, JB and Cornell played a lot, but Taiwan's mixing in there. We had other guys mixing in there that still played. I think that trend will continue. You know what I mean, moving forward. I just feel like there's not much of a drop off right now, which is good for us. I think, you know what I mean? There's not much of a drop off between this guy and that guy and that guy. Who those guys are, I don't even know right now. But there ain't much of a drop off. They all have things that they're really good at and excel at, and they all have things they got to work at just the same.
I guess with Joseph Zip, how would you describe his game?
Again, he's one of the guys that I'm referencing when I say very instinctive, and talking to some of the guys at VG, because we had one of theirs with JB Brown, and I had this conversation with JB and Joe sitting together and said, okay, who's better? And Joe's like, oh, I'm probably better at this, and JB's like, I'm better at that. But those guys told me straight up, like, JB will thump you now, which we all know he will. But Joe is as instinctive as there is, so he probably has better instincts. So excited about that, because he'll find himself around the ball quite a bit as well.
What does continued growth look like for John this fall?
Yep. Again, he is developed physically like no other. You know what I'm saying? Again, I got a picture on my phone that I can show you of his freshman, sophomore year of high school, and he's about his left arm is basically what he looked like then, and now it's the rest of him. Okay. So he's developed physically, and now because he's developed physically, he's starting to know what he's doing better, and the physical, maturity has made him more confident. So I would say the progression with him is he's a much more confident player now. So again, another one I'm really excited about. He's one of the guys that we're talking about in terms of having a lot of depth.
Does it help them develop instincts, develop, gap sound, all that stuff going up against the offense that you guys have and all the movement and everything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a challenge. Everybody probably does some semblance of all the extra stuff going on. So if we can handle the things that we see on a daily basis in terms of the moving parts offensively, I think we'll at least have a good idea against the teams that want to do some of that stuff. Shoot, it might be a challenge when guys just want to sit there and play football sometimes, compared to what we see every day. But yeah, it does help us just because it slows things down when you don't have all that stuff going on. Makes you disciplined with your eyes and your assignments and those types of things.
How's Logan coming along?
Good. Another one, again, great skill set, runs like crazy, still working on attention to detail and some of the calls and whatnot. But he's a smart kid. He knows it, but his motor runs so high, okay, that sometimes the motor takes over and he's still gonna play with his head. But tremendous skill set. Another one that'll be able to provide some depth for us on game days.
When you're evaluating guys in the portal, does it help when you have a guy like Trey that you can look at like opponents and say, this is what this guy's doing in the Big 12 versus, maybe somebody that has different levels of competition?
Yeah, I mean, that obviously was a selling point when we were going after Trey, that he played in the conference and played significant reps. Again, good sized kid, does a good job on a daily basis, working in and out of some of the stuff that we got going on, but that is certainly a factor just because there's familiarity. There's times we'll have conversations in the room and I'll be like, hey, we're getting ready to play such and such, and Trey's one that can validate, yes or no, whether or not those are things that we have to be prepared for, you know what I mean? So that certainly helps.
And then where's Kirby at coming out of his first spring and having the off season in the room?
I said there were some young guys that I was excited about, right?
Yeah.
He's one of them. Okay, doing a very good job. Got great length, can run. He's smart, and he's a guy. I just asked a question the other day, and he's giving verbatim how I'm coaching. You know what I mean? So I'm fired up about Malachi and his future for sure.
Anything else for Coach Simpson? All right, thanks everyone.
Appreciate you guys.